Thank you, Bob. As Bob mentioned, I'm the product manager for the process division for water, and that's a little misnomer. As the process division, we really handle a wide range of media, all the way from gas filtration to hydrogen filling stations for cars, through heavy fuels for a lot of the vessels that are on the ocean now on big turbines. Primarily, most of the work we do is with low viscosity fluids, water and water emulsions. Today, I'm not going to talk so much about the nuts and bolts of our equipment as the applications. So I just want to make you aware of some of the applications that we're having a lot of success, so you may be walking by every day. With our particular products, we can handle the coarse filtration with our ATF, which is a centrifugal hybrid type of system that we also put a filter in. Our finer filtration for 3,000 down to 25 micron, we have our RF3 and our AutoFilt backwash systems, which is really the core piece of equipment for the process division. And when we need to get the finest filtration, we have candlesticks, bag filters, and our PLF, which we can get down to 1 micron. And actually, we've introduced a new type of candlestick that we can actually get down to sub-micron level of a 0.5 micron if it's needed for ultra-pure water. So primarily, the main areas for applications that we'll be looking at based on the MRO we're talking about today is the water emulsions to be used in the steel industry. That is really out of the MRO, our primary and most successful MRO area right now. We do a lot of work in the pulp and paper and also in the automotive, but right now steel is really the main focus. So we'll be looking at descaling, can use it in coaling lubricant plants if they're having pump problems, and feed water filtration. So as we mentioned, the RF3 really can be used primarily for nozzle protection, membrane filtration protection, especially in the municipal. We're doing a lot of work with a lot of those companies right now. Pulp and paper, chemical, oil and gas, pump seal protection, tertiary wastewater, ozone, and cooling towers is really taking off quite dramatically for us over the last 3 or 4 months. So we'll talk a little bit about that as well. But we mentioned with the steel, primarily right now, we're seeing a real uptick in the steel industry, primarily due to the American economy taking off. One of the things that's occurring is the president mentioned putting tariffs on incoming steel. So when we look at the water that's used in these plants, not only in steel mills, but one of the reasons we talk about steel mills is that the applications are pretty applicable across the board to all the industrial places that we look at. So when you look at some of the incoming water at these plants, most of them are using some type of long football field type settling basins, or they're using a big type of clarification unit. By using our ATF, we can actually use that to get the high dirt load out in a very small footprint. And one of these alone handles up about to 1,700 gallons a minute, but we can manifold them together to get the flows that are required for the particular plants. We've had a lot of success, especially in areas that want to expand, but they don't have the area. Due to the small footprint, we can put in some of the ATFs. A good example is a plant down in Mississippi. They were landlocked, wanted to expand. They put a series of the ATFs on the Mississippi River. And when it rains and the mud and dirt get in the Mississippi, it can get quite heavy with the dirt load, but the ATF is able to keep up and ensure that there's a good quality water going into the plant for their processed water. When you look at the areas of filtration, as you walk through plants, you probably walk past these each and every day, especially cooling towers, which we'll get to in a second. But it's a continuous casting plant, cooling water applications, smelting, hot strip, all these use quite a large quantity of water. Most of these steel mills and various mills can use up to 20 to 30,000 gallons per minute. And one of our RF3s, a single one, can actually handle up to 33,000 gallons per minute. So we can handle the flows that are coming through a lot of these plants that are handling a lot of water. If we take a look at the descaling process, typically it's a high flow of water through nozzles, and they're spraying the finished product to get off dirt and dust and anything that's attached to it. Since they're using such a high volume of water, they want to recycle this water and use it over. The problem is if you have a lot of this rust and dirt in the system and it's not filtered, it clogs the nozzles, and it could force the whole process to be taken offline. The RF3 is a tremendous tool for this type of application, not just in the descaling of steel, but any application that a customer is using nozzles. It could be for machine coolants all the way through snow blowers at a ski resort just blowing out the mist. Demisters, fog foggers, anything that's using a nozzle, it's very important to put a pre-filter in front of it to protect that nozzle, and the RF3 is great for that process. One area that almost every one of you have is you walk into a plant, you'll find a cooling tower, whether it's a steel mill, if it's on top it could be on top of a skyrise, a hospital. Everybody is using some type of heat exchanger and cooling towers. We've had tremendous success in the last 4 to 5 months since we gave a presentation at NASM on the cooling towers. The problem with cooling towers is most people don't realize the need for filtration. They think they have bad heat exchangers, they have bad pumps, but it all comes back to the quality of the water coming out of the cooling towers for their processed water. And if you don't believe it's a problem, and it costs the customer money, Disneyland shut down for 2 days because of cooling tower problems and the Legionaries disease caused by dirt in their cooling towers, which accumulated and allowed bacteria to grow. If you get rid of the dirt, you're going to get rid of the process of the bacteria or viruses or biology attaching to that dirt and creating a problem. We gave the example at NASM of the customer. We were able to increase his product quality by 4 times, and he was able to sell it pure, and he increased the selling price by 4 times as much, and we were able to sell him just $200,000 alone in heat exchanger replacements, pump parts, and the cleaning out of the cooling towers. If you have a problem in your cooling tower, typically the dirt will accumulate there, and they'll have to take it offline 1, 2, 6 times a year in order to clean that out at roughly about $23,000 to $25,000 at a time. If you have the correct filtration, so every one of you have a cooling tower in your area, every time you walk into it, just ask the question, are you having problems with your pumps? Are you having problems with your heat exchangers? More than likely, it is due to the cooling water tower. And you'll find that the questions you'll see that you're having a lot of maintenance, your chemical usage is up. If you have to shut them down frequently to clean them out. So this is just a list over the last 2 years to put together the different markets and different applications. Typically, if it flows, we'll have an answer for you in the process division. We really do overlap with every other division, being able to handle heavy fuels through gas and a lot of the hydraulic and oil situations of water glycol. If you have high flows in any of those areas, or you get a reply that no, we can't do it from another division, please drop us a line and let us know, because between our widespread offerings, we may have an answer for you. Right now, we're doing everything from removing cannabis from marijuana through heavy fuels on ships. So we're just not water. Please keep in mind that if there's an application, you want to filter it, you want to get the dirt out, we probably have something that we can help you with. The nice thing, too, is we're making a lot of this product now in the United States. We're getting to the point now, within the next few months, that we'll be able to deliver and have some of the smaller units, RF30s and RF31s, which are our most common sales, and we'll be able to deliver in 2 to 3 weeks. So I just want to thank you for your attention today with Bob and I. Please, if you're walking into these plants and you're seeing a cooling tower, if you're seeing any water applications, just ask the question if we're having any problems. We'll be more than happy to come and visit with you. The guys on our team have well over 20 years experience in water, wastewater, and industrial applications as well. So thank you.